Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira is closer than you think. Why do I think this is the case? Well, it's pretty obvious that the game plan of both of them is rather obvious. They're both going to be push heavy fighters, forward only fighters, and purely aggressive. Now, well, I'll be honest, I don't really see much of a chance of how Olivera can maybe outbox or outpoint Ilia. I think if it goes to points, Ilia has a better chance of winning that. I'm gonna take the words of Olivera's previous opponents, that were saying Charles Oliveira hits extremely hard, and he's a killer, of course, when he stands up. He even did hurt Armin in UFC 300. I think it was around the first round or second round he hurt Armin. And of course, we all know about Ilia Topuria and how powerful he is, and he was the first person to knock out Max Holloway. And we know how dangerous he is. And if anything, I know everyone says that, oh, it's just the right hand or the right hook. If anything, I think Ilia Topuria has power in both of his hands. And Charles Oliveira as well. I do think Charles Oliveira also has power in both of his hands. I think though Topuria's power is much more different than Oliveira's. But I will say Oliveira does have a good shot of winning that fight still. I do think he could maybe even catch Ilia Topuria coming in, or during an exchange. They both exchange, Ilia misses maybe a shot and then Oliveira counters. I've always said as well that Ilia Topuria, one of his biggest weaknesses is literally him overextending and you can counter him. I don't know who brought it up now. Someone did end up bringing it now, where now everyone's pointing it out how Charles Oliveira is going to beat Ilia Topuria because Topuria overextends. Someone pointed that out. I don't know who it was, but good point. I've been saying it for so long. That's one way you could beat Ilia Topuria, by counterpunching. That's why even I was saying that Sean O'Malley was Ilia Topuria's probably toughest fight, because on the feet, O'Malley can counter. Now the difference is, of course, everyone's saying Oliveira's going to win because he's going to counter him. Oliveira's not a counterpuncher. He's not going to do that. He's going to let Ilia Topuria overextend and rebalance himself. Max Holloway tried to take advantage of it, but he was ultimately not able to, because he's also not a counterpuncher. But Ilia Topuria, what he normally does is comes in with combinations. Of course, what Oliveira is probably going to do is throw like high kicks and head kicks. And that's another thing too. This is why really ultimately, if I'm gonna lay a prediction, I'll just say it right here right now, I'm picking Ilia Topuria probably by KO in maybe the second. The reason why, and the pick might switch, but I think I might stay with Topuria. But I think the main reason why is because Olivera, he's going to do the exact same game plan as Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski. That they all went to that same game plan where Max Holloway did become aggressive and come forward to Ilia, but Ilia was just able to stop him in his tracks because he couldn't back Topuria up, and the only time he did, Topuria was just circling. With Charles Oliveira, of course, Charles Oliveira is a come forward fighter, but I do think that power, he's gonna respect it. And he might even respect a little bit too much on the night of the fight. Instead of actually coming forward, he's gonna be more measured. And he was even measured with Michael Chandler, except he was of course putting the pace to Chandler, but it's Chandler, he just throws a big bomb and that's really it. And what I think what Olivera is going to do, he's going to come in with that patient, measured approach that he normally always does. And he's going to try to be technically trying to box Ilia. But it's like I've said as well, Topuria just has a really good boxing game. And he's probably the only MMA fighter that can properly box. There's a couple. Max Holloway's a good boxer, but I wouldn't say proper boxing, he's that great. Nate Diaz is not even close to being a boxer. I don't know why anyone glazed him to that. But there's certain boxers, like Joshua Van. That dude is a good boxer too. Joshua Van is a great boxer and proper boxer. Topuria is a good proper boxer as well. Probably best proper boxer right now because he has the power. Joshua Van uses volume, but Joshua Van also fights proper boxing. His is very good. And we're starting to see that become a rise as well, where proper boxing is being used instead of the traditional Izzy kickboxing at range or Alex Perez kickboxing and aggression. As now we're noticing now that those kinds of guys rely on their kicks first and then they start relying on the hands, where their big weaknesses are in the boxing. And now, of course, now I would say the boxers are coming in, boxing and wrestling. And the only issue they would have to worry about is just a leg kick. Now, what I'm saying though with Charles Oliveira is he's going to come in very measured. He's going to try to pump out, literally he's going to try to pump the jab on Topuria, and he's gonna come forward. But what Topuria is gonna do, he's gonna immediately slip off, just counter him immediately. And as well, during an exchange with Topuria, if you've even noticed, he has a bit of a habit where he throws his right hand just straight away, and it's like a missile. That dude just fully extends that right hand forward, and the thing is though, is after he does that, he always throws a left hook right behind it. Or he throws that right hand and then throws a body shot right after that. Either way though, when he does that, Charles Oliveira is going to be throwing that big jab. He's going to miss, and Topuria's going to counter him and probably hurt him with the body early. And then at that point, or clip him early. And I think at that point, I think 100% he's going to hurt Charles Oliveira in the first round. At least he's going to hurt him. I do even think that Charles Oliveira is going to hurt Topuria too. I think we're going to probably see Topuria in deep waters maybe in this time. Not in deep waters where he'll potentially be up against the fence and maybe lose. He'll just be getting hurt, like probably for the first time, but not wobbled. Something where like significant, where something significant is going to land on him and Topuria's going to feel it. But I think ultimately though, Topuria's going to clip him around the first round. He's going to hurt him. And he's going to start coming to more aggression to Charles Oliveira and take him more against the fence so he can land his combinations. And then what Charles Oliveira is going to do, he's going to start pumping up the jabs, doing the 1-2s, the 1-1-2, doing the basic what Volkanovski and Holloway does. Where that for some reason, I have no idea why Max Holloway and Volkanovski fought that way. Where they fight off the back foot, try to throw a jab and then a head kick right after, or a 1-2 and a head kick, or just a 1 and a head kick. They just keep doing the same thing, and that's ultimately what I think what Charles Oliveira is going to do. And you even see a video of him. I posted the video as well of the training footages between them two. And there's like there's one drill where Charles Oliveira is working on where it's like a 1-2 head kick. And the thing is, I don't know why they keep relying on the head kick that Jai Herbert landed. They consistently are going to that head kick. Of course, maybe one day it will land because the amount of times that ends up happening, eventually Topuria's not going to defend it. But the amount of times they're practicing that and it's never working and it doesn't even land, the head kick, is just completely misses. It just brings an opportunity, because as well, Topuria even kind of learned that too, and now when they throw the head kick, he can literally just walk forward and just get closer as he is, because Topuria gets closer as the distance goes. He's closing the distance, and he closes it faster when these guys keep throwing the head kick. So ultimately, I think Oliveira is going to be doing that. He's going to start doing that in the first round after he gets clipped. Then he's going to probably do the same thing back against the fence, throw his jab, his head kick, and then Topuria's going to get closer. And end of the first round, maybe Topuria hurts him to the body again. Then we go into the round two. Round two happens, same thing starts. Olivera starts a little bit quicker, tries to be more aggressive, and then I think Topuria clips him. And then I think Charles Oliveira is probably going to drop himself on the ground, except this time I think Topuria is not going to be afraid of him, and he's going to go down to the ground and try to smash him on the ground. But I think Olivera will get back up, because I do think Topuria's holding on the ground isn't as great. I think he has good takedowns and good wrestling, but I think he lets opponents get up pretty easily. Like you look at Josh Emmett, or I think even Bryce Mitchell. I think Bryce Mitchell, Topuria got back up, but Topuria isn't able to hold opponents down like very well. But he can hold them down, but not as great. So I think Oliveira's gonna get back up, and I think when he gets back up, I think it'll be another one where Topuria is gonna he's probably gonna, I really do see this actually, that Oliveira is gonna throw a 1-2 and probably a head kick and he'll miss, but most likely it'll be a 1-2. I see a 1-2 being thrown. Ilia Topuria rolls under and just throws the overhand over the top and then hurts Charles Oliveira badly, where he's gonna be hurt and wobble. Topuria's gonna chase him, probably land a couple of body shots. Oliveira's gonna shoot a takedown, and I'm closing my eyes while saying this too. And Topuria defends the takedown, goes to the backside and starts throwing a bunch of shots. Olivera rolls back up and then it's back to full guard. And then Topuria probably gets back up, tries to let Olivera so he can try to piece him up on the feet or knock him out. And then Olivera gets back up. Then Olivera once again does another 1-2. Probably throws the head kick, misses or gets blocked. And Topuria lands a body shot, a straight right to the body. There was another one to the liver, and then a straight right, just not an overhand like the Jai Herbert. I think he'll throw a straight right, and then I'll be the one that hurts Olivera, and it's gonna hurt Olivera badly. He's gonna go down. Then from there, I think we're gonna see Topuria probably get near the back and then just throw beyond and just smash Olivera. He'll be armadillo mode. He'll basically do an Anthony Smith and be in armadillo mode, and then Topuria's gonna let go, and then the fight's gonna be over. Ili Topuria then becomes your 2 division champion, and hopefully as well Islam Makhachev. I really do hope he does win the second belt too, because I do think he's gonna come back down, and that's like the one we can get the fight. Thank you, Bilal, for ruining that.